was a little bit sort of nervous going to the shootout, not sort of knowing how the car was going to react, pushing to the absolute limit. So, the car was awesome in the shootout. So just, big thank you to the whole team. And, George has done a fantastic job, bringing it into the window the whole weekend.
Seems to be the general theme is everyone is enjoying watching you back in a race car, watching you happy and just seeing you do what you do best. So is that the same that you feel as well? You're just enjoying being able to go and do what you're so good at doing, driving a race car fast? Yeah, I've been enjoying it the whole time since I've been back. It's just, we sort of fell behind a little bit, from where we were last year. And, these cars, they were new last year, and, the development rates, being so fast, and we're talking, millimetres here or there. So, starting to feel like we're starting to get back on top of it again. And, I think we showed that at Sandown, a little bit. Race pace was awesome, just didn't really play out. But, we'll just see how we go tomorrow. Tomorrow's such a long day. Just got to minimise mistakes and hopefully be there at the end. Nice lap, man. Well done. Thank you. Todd, cool opportunity, huh? These sort of opportunities don't come around very often in a driver's career. So just your thoughts for tomorrow.
It's just a massive kudos, obviously, to Brodie. It's an incredible lap, and he's done an impeccable job in the lead up to this event. But obviously, over the whole course of the last few days, the car's been fast, and the whole team at Erebus Motorsport have done a faultless job. So, for me, it's obviously being in a prime position as a co-driver, working with a driver like Brodie of his caliber, watching the way that he works and the attention to detail that he puts into the car, both in the workshop and at the racetrack. I completely understand why this man's on pole. So, it's pretty cool to be linking up with him tomorrow. Great opportunity. And as Brodie said, we just got to minimise our mistakes. Sandown was messy for us a little bit. We had a fast car with no result, and that certainly hurt for us, both as drivers and a team. And that's given us a whole new level of motivation coming here this weekend to properly execute. And, it's a long day tomorrow, and we put a lot of focus into our race cars, so hopefully that pays off.
Obviously, the start of the year was a tricky one for Erebus, but the silver lining was that you got loads of laps in, even here at Bathurst as well. So is that a bit of an advantage as a co-driver for tomorrow? Oh, it certainly is. It's a prime opportunity for me to do some extra laps at two events, and obviously starting the year here, but the car is a lot different to where we started the year to where we are now, I guess, from a setup point of view. So it's certainly satisfying coming here now, knowing that we've made a big step in improvement, because I was a little bit nervous coming here at Bathurst. Obviously, the car was fast at Sandown, but coming back to Bathurst here on a hard tyre, we felt like we did struggle a fair bit, to be honest. So, we've certainly made some good improvements, and that's a big kudos to Brodie and George and the whole team at Erebus for making that turnaround in the last sort of 6 to 7 months. Thank you, mate. I'm going to open it straight up to the room.
Brodie, you mentioned a bit of vibration there in the car. Is that an easy fix, or any idea what that is?
I've had a couple sets of tyres this weekend so far. Just put brand new ones on, and it feels like I'm in a salt shaker. So, it was a bit surprising then, to be honest. That was the worst I felt. So, it was getting pretty hard to see at 270 k's an hour plus. So, going to the kink at the chase was, a bit interesting. So just something we're going to have to keep our eye on tomorrow. Probably learnt last year the commitment that you have to be at to, put it on pole. I knew that, replicate that, you have to put everything on the line. So, was happy that the lap, held off. It was, I was in a different, scenario last year, being the last car out, knew that I had to do a time to beat it. So sitting there and waiting for 3 other cars to go out was, pretty daunting. It's probably what Brock felt last year. So, it was interesting sitting there, but, glad that held off.
Brodie, I guess, are there any lessons from last year where you guys got pole but couldn't quite convert in the race that you take into tomorrow? Yeah, we didn't really have a good strategy last year, so we made a few mistakes during the race and, let the bulls get in front of us, and it's pretty hard to pass from there, and just made a few more mistakes leading on from that. But we've got some some manpower this year to help us with that. So it was great having Blake on board at Sandown. So we just have to focus on ourselves, and we know that we've got a fast race car. We just have to minimise the mistakes, and being that the full course yellows are now in from last year, the race is going to be that much different again. And did you say on the broadcast you're not quite 100% feeling? Yeah, I've been feeling a little bit off, so there's a bit of a bug going around. So feeling a lot better today, but I'll be fine by tomorrow. But it was didn't really have the best of days yesterday, but glad to be on the mend. Moth.
Yes. Hey, this is unusual.
Hi, James. Are you disappointed not to get to start tomorrow off the front row?
No, not really. It's not much point putting any energy thinking about it because the rules don't allow it. So Cam will do a good job. I'm sure he will. He stuffed Sandown up, so he can't. He knows he's got to get a good one tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, you've been close so many times, 3 podiums. Do you feel this could be the year?
Mate, it's such a long day tomorrow. Anything can happen. So we've had a good lead up. We've been ticking the things off we've wanted to with the car, and I think we're both pretty comfortable with where the car's at heading in tomorrow. So, yeah, we just got to execute as well as we can across the day and see where we fall at the end of it.
And what would a good result tomorrow mean after how last year sort of, obviously didn't go the way you wanted it to?
Well, I don't know what you want me to say to that, mate. Like, I would have thought that's a pretty obvious answer. So,
Brodie, how much does last year burn for you? Just coming second, I guess, from starting pole.
Didn't burn that bad, to be honest. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you make mistakes throughout the race, and you try to learn from them. So, hopefully, we've done the right things. In the lead up to this event, there's been a lot of preparation behind the scenes. As many, all the teams do. But yeah, we just have to focus on ourselves tomorrow. And yeah, we're starting off the front row, which is best case scenario for the start of the race, and we'll go from there and see how it plays out.
To all the primary drivers, you are in the car for the start of the race tomorrow. How do you think that's going to change the cadence and the flow of the race, particularly at the start?
Is everyone looking at me?
It's your turn.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's such everyone's saying the same thing. It's such a long race. So I don't think any of us are going to be doing anything stupid in that first stint. I think we'll sort of all settle into a bit of a rhythm and we'll figure out who's got a fast car or not. So it's an interesting one. Obviously, it's nice letting the co-drivers start. You get to sit back and smooth into the race a bit later on. So I'm sure it's probably been a while for most of us guys since we've started here. So it's going to be good fun. But yeah, I don't expect anything too crazy at the start.
And for Todd, as you've said, it's probably your best chance to win the race. Come tomorrow morning, you're expecting there to be any butterflies and sort of that pressure that comes with being the pole sitter?
I mean, it's probably a bit more pressure on Brodie trying to get the car off the line. I just have to cross my fingers on the sidelines at the start. But, pressure builds diamonds. And for me, the whole idea of stepping back and being a co-driver this year to be in a primary opportunity to link up with a driver like Brodie was my whole decision. So, and I guess that's, for me, it's peace of mind and putting validation in place. That was the decision I wanted to make. And this is proof in the pudding with starting on the pole for the greatest race of the year. So, no, I'm just excited and hungry at the same time. I've been desperately pushing my whole career to try and get myself into a race-winning position. And if it means I'm working with one of the best drivers in the field doing it, that gives me a whole heap of confidence. So, yeah, it's actually a good feeling, to be honest. I don't feel like I've got a whole lot of pressure. It's just we want to get through tomorrow and execute as good as we can. So I like to think Brodie and I have got a pretty level head and going into tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
One for Brodie. I think it's the first time in 15 years there's been consecutive pole sitters at Bathurst. Just from your experience the last 2 years, can you sort of pinpoint why that might be, I guess, so hard or so rare?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I've always had a pretty good run around here since I first co-drove with Erebus, but yeah, I've always had a liking to this place, and yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest, why that would be, but I would say probably the last 2 years is because I've had a great car underneath me, and working with George has been great, and we've been able to develop that relationship over the past sort of 3 or 4 years, and yeah, so I think I'd put it down to that.
Question for all drivers. What are your thoughts on the full course yellow speed remaining at 80 kilometres an hour instead of going up to 120?
Can we start with Cam on that one?
I was going so well. Doesn't really bother me, to be honest. Yeah, we go to other tracks which you go under 80 kilometres an hour. You go to Tassie hairpin and it's slower than 80. So if it was 120, you're still going to be slowing down around certain corners, but it is what it is.
Jamie?
The full course yellow period is because there's an incident on the track, so you've got to slow down so crews can get out there to start the recovery. So in some regard, the slower the better, but if it's too slow, then it takes too long to get around. So I think there's a half a dozen corners here that the minimum racing speed is under 120k. So I think 80k is more sensible. But the whole purpose of full course yellow is to clear up, like not go to a safety car. If there's an opportunity where there's something sitting on the track, and the crew we can gather it all up, all go down to 80k, quickly get that bit of debris off the circuit and re-go again. That's what it's all about. So I think we're getting a little bit tied up into the whole full course yellow into safety car and what all that means. But really, the fact that we've got full course yellow is fantastic. Like anything new, you never nail it perfect the first time. It always got to evolve. If you throw it out after the first attempt, we'd probably be still hunting with boomerangs, So you got to have a crack at it. We did it at Sandown. It's now evolved, and it's going to get better and better over time. But there's half a dozen. Most categories around the world run full course yellow, so it's a good thing that we've adopted it.
Todd, how did you find the rehearsal for it today?
For me it was okay. Obviously the biggest thing is that we're relying on the SIM card system at the moment with the way it gets brought into the car. So with the amount of people and obviously the interference around the circuit, that could be a problem, and hence why they've increased the time in the countdown time when we have to have those limiters put on. So I think that's a good thing. As Jamie mentioned, I think it's evolving. It's not going to be the same system that we saw at Sandown. I think it was painful for everyone. It's painful for us as drivers, teams, and for the people watching at home. So Supercars and everyone involved internally, I think, has learnt from that and tried to make it better. And as Jamie mentioned, I think it's got its purpose. I think if we can use it in a way where there's debris on the circuit, we can get to it quickly and get the cars back racing. That's what we've got to use full course yellow for. What we saw at Sandown, I hope we never see again, having cars doing multiple laps, doing 80k's an hour. But yeah, I think the idea of going from 120 to 80 at the end of the day, it's all about safety. So going faster is not the fix for the issue. There's still some work to be done, but I'm sure the people at Supercars and if they can rely on the drivers helping aid that move forward as well, I think that would be a good thing too.
Jamie, how much of a strategy play is it going to be? We saw you guys master it really well at Sandown, but there's been a slight tweak to how long we're expected to be going at 80k. So are you going to be having to make a real fly call? Do you double stack or go around?
The rule change is there's no minimum requirement. At Sandown, there was a minimum of 2 laps. Now, it could still be 2 laps. It's just not the minimum. Could be 1, could be 3, who knows? So we're not sure what the case is. I'm a sports enthusiast. I don't like the fact that queuing in pit lane. It's very hard to avoid. So I like the fact that there was a minimum of 2 laps under safety car. Under full course yellow, at Sandown, because you got the first, second, and third place getters were genuinely the top 3 competitors on that day. You go back to the normal scenario, you've got team cars stacking behind each other and are just getting thrown out. So if you like a lottery, I suppose that's probably a good thing. But there's different competitions for if you want a lottery. There's bingo on Saturday night. If you want to, everyone gets a prize and everyone gets a win, but me being an enthusiast, I like to see the top 3 competitors and teams on the day get on the podium.
Cam, your thoughts on that topic and FCY? Do you stack? Would you rather go around and risk it? How do you think it'll play out tomorrow?
I didn't like what happened at Sandown. Just giving everyone a free kick under a full course yellow, so we didn't double stack. I think that's part of the game. You want to be in front of your teammates. So I didn't agree with that. I'm glad they've kind of thrown that little part out. I guess my issue around the full course yellow is cars being offline versus online, kind of what Todd said. But I think MA and Supercars have done a good job making the time 25 seconds over the 15 seconds to allow all the cars to get online. So that's probably the only dangerous part about it, which I think we've kind of half addressed, and we'll continue working on that going forward.
We got any more, guys? Yep, last.
One for Cam. you sort of ran us through a few of your errors in yesterday's qualifying. What would you give today's lap out of 10?
Less errors for sure. Still, you always have little ones as a driver. You know, you clean up little areas. Yeah, it was pretty good. I'd give it a 9.
Awesome. And Brock, who's the favourite tomorrow?
You're the media, mate. I'll leave that up to you guys. Look, I think I think all the guys up here and plenty of the guys that aren't up here are super competitive. Look, it's the usual suspects. They're quick every year you turn up here. So look, it's anyone's game. You know, we're all talking the same language. Whoever makes less mistakes, has a fast race car, is going to be lucky enough to stand up on that podium behind us. So look, we're all going to win tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Jamie, it's been a while. You've been racing up here a long time. You still look, every time when you get here and put your helmet back on again, you look really hungry to win. Is that still how you feel? Do you still have that hunger to keep winning?
100%. Yeah, the day that's not there, I'll hand the seat over to somebody else. But no, we've got 2 competitive race cars, both in the top 5. Yeah, I've had plenty of ups and downs at this place. I'm not a greedy person though. I'm grateful for the few times I've been able to stand on the top step. But yeah, there's been a lot of heartache over the years. So hopefully, all I can ask for is we're in contention. You know, everyone puts in their best effort, and whoever's the best over the day, I hope they stand on the top step. And I'm hoping that's us. But whoever it is, that's the most important to me.
So is it more stressful when you're watching and standing in the garage watching your blokes out there fighting it out, or when you're actually on the track fighting it out?
Yeah, probably sitting in the garage, to be honest. Yeah, you sort of you got no control in the garage in some regards. So once you got your helmet on and start the lap or start your stint, all the nerves go away. You just focus on the job.
Alrighty, I think that's enough. Thank you, gents. Well done today, and good luck for tomorrow.